The 32nd Guam Youth Congress is now called to order. I now call on Representative Tyron for the prayer. Please stand.
Ginini Tata ilihinya Dani Spiritu Santo. Amen. Tatan mami ni gaigi haugi langit, umatuna inaanmu, umamaila I gobiet nomu, umafatina si pentomu, asikitanu komagi langit. Nai ham pagu, nui kada haani na agod mami, zauna si ham nui dibin mami. Taiguihi ina sisi I dumidi ham siha, za tamu ham pumupulu na infan bas na gitantasyon, no nafen libri ham gitailadzi. Amen. Si Diyos o ganagi mani bulahaw grasya, si Diyos kay gizahago, umatunan tritori si pamalawan, sa matuni finanago mo Jesus. Santa Maria nananjus tatajuti marisa pago, dani oran finatay mami. Amen. San Antonio, tatajuti ham. San Juan, tatajuti ham. Kinini Tata, ilihinya dani Espiritu Santo. Amen.
Thank you, Representative Tyron. I now call on Vice Speaker Richards for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Oh,
Thank you, Vice Speaker Richards. I now call on Representative Kitchachu for the Guam hymn.
Fanogi chamoru puritanota kantai mantu nonya itoru ilugai padari honra padari gloria abiba isla pada padari honra padari gloria abiba isla pada utoru itempu ipas pada hita zangin ilangin a bendition contra peligro na fansa fuam zus protais la guan contra peligro na fansa fuam zus protais la guan.
Thank you, Representative Kitchachu. I now call on Representative Flores for the recitation of the Inifresi.
Inifresi. Kini mastakulum gihina soku. Imastakulum gikorasonhu. Zani masfigu neni nasinyahu. Hu fressen maisazu. Parabai protehi. Zanhu defendi. Ihinengi. Ikotura. Linguahi. I airi. I hanum zanitanot samoru. Niren shaku diretsu ginina sos tata. Estu afitma gihilui biblia. Zani banderahu. Ibenderanguahan.
Thank you, Representative Flores. You all may be seated. Mr. Secretary, roll call, please.
Representative DeHelig, Representative DeGracia, Representative Dinsman, Representative Isihan, Representative Felison, Representative Flores, Representative Garrido, Representative Labang, Representative Lorenzo, Representative Maige, Representative Matanani, Representative Munyabret, Representative Pareda, Representative Perez, Representative Kichichu, Representative Kineni, Representative Quintanilla, Representative Richards, Representative Sablan, Representative Elijah Santos, Representative Javan Santos, Representative Taga, Representative Tyron, Representative Trinidad, Representative Christian Valencia, Representative Isabel Valencia, Representative Vicente. Mr. Speaker, there is a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. We're now on item 7 of our legislative session agenda. Call for the approval of the legislative journal. Mr. Acting Majority Leader, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the legislative journal.
There's been a motion to approve our legislative journal dated
January 25th, 2020.
January 25, 2020. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to waive items 8 through 11 from today's session agenda.
There's been a motion to waive items 8 to 11 of our legislative session agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. We're now on the introduction and first reading of bills and resolutions. Do I hear a motion to have all items to have deemed to have been read? Mr. Floor Leader, yet. You're recognized.
I'd like to make a motion that all items on the agenda be introduced, or first reading of bills and resolutions.
There's been a motion that all items, all bills and resolutions be deemed to have their first reading. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. We are now on motions. Are there any motions? Representative DeHelig, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to place resolution number 29-32 into the first reading file.
There's been a motion to place resolution number 29-32 onto the second reading file to be discussed. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Representative DeHelig, you're still recognized. On the main motion. Okay. Any other member who wishes to speak on the main motion? Representative Quintanilla, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Manasi Zuz, Tolu Samzu, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. So, on Resolution 29-32, This resolution aims to celebrate Guam History and Chamorro Heritage Day and to commend the Honorable Mayor Johnny A. Kinata, Mayor of Umatic. So, Guam History and Chamorro Heritage Day is a wonderful celebration that spurs the community to celebrate the history of the Chamorro people and to proliferate and perpetuate the Chamorro culture. I feel that the the holiday is a wonderful addition to our calendar because it inspires the community, like that of the village of Umatic, to celebrate. And these celebrations are key to performing activities that perpetuate the Chamorro culture, perpetuate the language, and to foster community. And for that, I would like to say, Biba Mes Chamorro and Biba Humatak.
Thank you, Representative Quintanilla. Any other member who wishes to speak on the main motion? Representative Tyron, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mes Chamorro is really an important and essential part of our youth community, all the way to our Manyaina or our Manamku. And it's important that we take part in perpetuating our culture because it is what we have on this island. And unfortunately, our culture through many years has in some ways deteriorated. But by providing ways for our youth, for everyone on the island, from all different backgrounds, beliefs, and ethnicities, to take part in traditional activities, whether it's singing a song or getting to go to an exhibit, it's important that they have this cultural immersion so that they know more about where they are from and the people who first came to Guam. And I'd like to just thank, of course, Representative Kennedy, Representative Quintanilla, and Representative Flores for inviting and being open to allow me to be a co-sponsor of this resolution because I firmly believe in what it stands for. And I really urge all of my colleagues to support this resolution in any way possible and to take part in these festivities mentioned in the resolution. We are in a time where we are at crossroads where our culture is in a renaissance, whether it's through the arts or through oral tradition. And it's really beautiful to see. So I encourage each and every one of you to take time this Mes Chamorro and to partake in an activity that will give you more information or will enlighten you more about your island home. So again, si Diyos maasi, ugo fagradesi, and si Diyos infan binidisi, si Diyos maasi.
Thank you, Representative Tyron. Any other member who wishes to speak on the main motion? Representative Flores, you're recognized.
Sizos Masi, Mr. Speaker. I think the resolution expresses it pretty well. I'd just like to further express my support of the resolution and, of course, the Umatic Mayor's Office, Humatag Mayor's Office, and all that they do to celebrate our culture. As previously stated, this is a very important part of how we perpetuate and how we bring our culture forward and keep it alive and further grow it. Beyond that, I encourage us all to continue to find more ways to incorporate our culture, not just our culture, but also our language, into everyday things and not just symbolic things and celebrations that are limited to a month. I encourage us to find ways through legislation as well as through the community to further perpetuate, commemorate, and grow our culture. Sizos Masi.
Thank you, Representative Flores. Any other member who wishes to speak on the main motion? Representative Santos, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm in full support of this resolution, and I wish that the representative from the village of Umatic was here just to give his own personal accolades on the mayor of Umatic and his role in the community. Yeah, I think this resolution coming from the Guam Youth Congress is a great way to kick off Mes Chamorro. I just wanted to add an amendment to line 16 of page 2 of the resolution. After affairs, I'm hoping, from my understanding of the festivities that happen in UMADAC to kick off FestPac, the Historic Preservation Trust is a huge part of that. So I would like to add, after affairs, the Honorable Therese Terlahi, chairperson of the Committee on Health, Tourism, Historic Preservation, Land, and Justice, to the bill or to the resolution. And if anyone else would like to further amend to add historic Guam Preservation Trust to the resolution itself, they may feel free to do so. But that is my motion, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Santos. On that amendment, any other member who wishes to speak on the amendment? If none, are there any objections to the amendment? Okay. Representative Quintanilla, you're recognized on the amendment.
I would like to make an amendment to the amendment to add the e-Historiata Commission as one of the other entities to be recognized. I mean, to have a copy sent to.
Add an amendment to the amendment?
Yes.
On that amendment to the amendment, are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Back to the amendment as amended. Are there any objections? Or any other member who wishes to speak? Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Representative Santos, you still have the floor. Okay. Any other member who wishes to speak on the main motion now? Seeing as Representative Quintanilla, you're recognized.
In closing, I thank you all for coming today, and I appreciate the opportunity to recognize Ms. Chamorro, Guam History and Chamorro Heritage Day, and the UMADIC Mayor's Office. And before I close, I'd like to make a motion to, what's the exact wording again? Mr. Speaker, I make a motion to allow for technical corrections.
There's been a motion to allow for technical corrections to be made by the Committee on Rules. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Do I hear a motion to place?
Apologies. I make a motion to place Resolution 29-32 into the third reading file.
There's been a motion to place resolution number 29-32 into the third reading file. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Are there any other motions? Seeing as there are none, we've exhausted all items on our second reading file, and we'll now move on to second roll call. Representative Tyron, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to have first roll call reflect second roll call. I apologize. I'd like to make a motion to allow second roll call to reflect first roll call.
There's been a motion that second roll call reflect first roll call. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. We're now in the consideration of the daily file. Mr. Secretary, resolution number 29-32, please read the title.
Resolution number 29-32, introduced by Representative DeMarco Thomas Kennedy, Tristan Quintanilla, Nolan G.T. Flores, Vicente Blas Tyron, relative to celebrating Guam History and Chamorro Heritage Day, and commending the Honorable Johnny A. Kanata, Mayor of UMADIC.
Roll call, please.
Representative Delig. Representative Delig, aye. Representative De Gracia. Representative De Gracia, aye. Representative Asihan. Representative Asihan, aye. Representative Flores. Representative Flores, aye. Representative Maige. Representative Maige, aye. Representative Matanani. Representative Matanani, aye. Representative Munyabrek. Representative Munyabrek, aye. Representative Pareda. Representative Pareda, aye. Representative Kichitsu. Representative Kichitsu, aye. Representative Quintanilla. Representative Quintanilla, aye. Representative Richards. Representative Richards, aye. Representative Sablan. Representative Sablan, aye. Representative J. Van Santis. Representative J. Van Santis, aye. Representative Tyron. Representative Tyron, aye. Representative Valencia. Christian Valencia. Representative Christian Valencia, aye. Representative Vicente. Representative Vicente, aye.
Resolution number 29-32 received 16 ayes, no nays, and 11 absent. Aye a day. Resolution number 29-32 hereby passes. We've exhausted all items in the voting file, and we'll now move on to brief extension of remarks. Any member who wishes to be recognized? Representative Tyron, you're recognized.
I'd just like to say Sijos Masi to each and every one of my colleagues present today who showed their support for Resolution 29-32. And again, I urge them to take a closer look at the resolution to see what are some ways they can partake in cultural activities this Mes Chamorro, and not only in March, but throughout the year, because culture deserves perpetuation in all months. Sijos Masi.
Thank you, Representative Tyron. Representative Dahilig, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to extend my greatest gratitude for the passage of this resolution, and to also urge the body that as we celebrate the history of Guam and our culture, to also look forward to what we have in store today in our present, and to be guided on our revitalization efforts, and to look forward to the future of the Chamorro heritage. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dahilig. Any other member who wishes to be recognized? Representative Flores, you're recognized.
I'd like to further extend an undangklun na Sijos Masi to everyone who passed the resolution. Waagradesi sinapotin midzu. I hope to see everyone down there, and just a sec. Sijos Masi.
Thank you, Representative Flores. Vice Speaker Richards, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to commend the sponsor and all the co-sponsors for writing this resolution. I think I'd like to echo the sentiments of Representative Tyron and say that this should be celebrated throughout the year, not just in March. Use it as a catalyst maybe to strengthen your support for the Chamorro Renaissance that we're going through, but really live it out throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. Any other member who wishes to be recognized? Seeing as there are none. Oh, Representative Quintanilla, you're recognized.
I would also like to echo on the sentiments of Representative Flores. Thank you to everyone who voted in favor of the resolution. The cultural renaissance that's been going on in recent years had a deeply profound impact on my personal development and my own cultural identity. And I feel that moments like the Matic Mayor's Offices Festival, they're catalysts for other people, other young members of our community to go through those changes and have those realizations. And so thank you for voting in favor of the resolution, and I hope that you all have a chance to come down. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Quintanilla. Any other member who wishes to be recognized? Seeing as there are none, we'll move on to announcements. Any announcements? Representative Maige, you're recognized.
Buenas and half a day. I would just like to announce that the Guam High School NJROTC Panther Company is having a car wash on March 7th at the Circle K in Anigua from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. We kindly accept any donations, so if you would like to come, we'd kindly appreciate that in preparation for our 2020 NJROTC Military Ball. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Maige. Any other member for announcements? Representative Tyron, you're recognized.
Sijos Masi, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to extend an invitation to all of you to Art with the Manamku, which will be hosted at Tumuning Tuman Harmon Senior Citizen Center on March 13th, 10 to 12, which our Representative Kitichu is so generously hosting along with others in her organization. And then I'd also like to invite everyone to the Tuman Bay Music Festival, which Vice Speaker Richards and myself participated in yesterday. Just like to commend him. He was awesome with the Laddie-tones. And today they'll be hosting the solo events, so they'll have vocalists and also instrumentalists from various backgrounds, and that will be at St. John the Divine Church in Upper Tumon. It's a great festival to see really the talent we have on island, from our vocalists to our instrumentalists. So I invite all of you to partake in that. There are some events that do charge for admission, so if you are looking at attending any of the ensemble performances, they'll be at the Lotte Hotel. Those you will have to bring money for. But there are also free performances at the Ipao Beach Park, and then there's an encore finale at the Micronesia Mall Center Court. Just some things to get us more active in the community and to really see, the talent of our youth in Guam, and really of all of us in Guam. Sijos Masi.
Thank you, Representative Tyron. Representative Quintanizo, you're recognized.
Half day, everyone. I'd like to announce that this semester's CM 302 class, Advanced Chamorro Writing, is planning a trip to go to the island of Luta in order to explore the island's medicinal garden, to visit Laddie Quarry sites, and to participate in some alma classes if they're available. And so to kick off the trip, we'll be hosting a fundraiser on Saturday, March 14th at Club Icon in Tumon.
Thank you, Representative Quintanizo. Vice Speaker Richards, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I would like to thank any who came to the 100th anniversary fiesta of Our Lady of Lourdes in Jigo. So if you came, thank you very much for celebrating with us. I'd also like to congratulate Representative Vicente Blas-Tyron for receiving a gold award for his choir last night at the Tumon Bay Music Festival. Also like to congratulate La Voce, Simon Sanchez Choir, for receiving gold, and Guam High's Choir for not only receiving gold, but also being selected to perform the command performance at the Micronesia Mall. I'm sorry? The command performance is, so there's tiers. Oh, when is it? That is a good question. I'm not sure. March 9th. March 9th. And please, if you can, make it to one of the nights of the Tumon Bay Music Festival. It's a really, really awesome thing to watch local musicians just showcase their talent. Please support that. I would also like to make a notwithstanding House Rules motion for Mr. Jermaine Alerta to make his announcement.
On that motion, any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. Mr. Alerta, you may proceed.
Oh, thank you so much. So I just want to echo what they said. Go to Tumon Bay Music Festival. I was able to host one of the events one year. It's wonderful. I came from high school choir, right? So just seeing where we've come the last 20 years. Yeah, I'm giving away my age, but in the last 20 years, it's really great to see so many groups and organizations participating and giving back to Guam and showcasing their talents. So I highly encourage you to go to one of those performances. In terms of allowing me to speak, so I'm the executive director for the Guam Developmental Disabilities Council. And March is being celebrated, every year it's celebrated as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And along with I'm going to say DD for short, Developmental Disabilities, along with our DD network partners, the Guam Cedars from UOG and the Guam Legal Services Corporation Disability Law Center. Yearly, we host several events in the month of March just to highlight some of the work being done in terms of developmental disabilities. And for this month, we have a lot of activities. We have an official schedule of activities, but there's a whole bunch of other activities aside from what I'm going to announce that everyone can take part in. So I'm just going to go down the list of some of what we have. So this Sunday, March 1st, tomorrow, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Micronesia Mall, we're having the first ever Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month Outreach Fair, center court of the Micronesia Mall. On Monday, March 2nd, we're going to have an Awareness Month wave at the ITC intersection from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. I cannot guarantee if you do come that there's going to be pizza, but there might be pizza. So come on down, check that out. On Saturday, March 7th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., GSAT, which is the Guam System for Assistive Technology out of Cedars, they're having their Assistive Technology Fair. That's going to be at the Ganya Shopping Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On March 10, the Guam Developmental Disabilities Council is going to have a table at UOG's Charter Day. So check out UOG's Charter Day. Some of you guys are probably going to go there for school. Some of you who are attending the university are definitely going to be there. There's a whole host of activities. They do it every year to celebrate the university. So head down there on March 10. On March 14, at Ukadu High School's track and field, the track, Special Olympics Guam is hosting their athletics competition. That starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. GDOE schools participate, outside organizations participate. Great showing. They have well over 1,000 people join, and they have their athletes. And this year, the athletes are partnering with what they call their unified athletes. These are individuals without disabilities who help them train for some of the events. And the track and field is just the first event for this year. They're going to have softball, they have badminton, they do bowling, they do a whole bunch of other sports. So check them out on that. But on the 14th, it's the Special Olympics track and field competition. GSAT's hosting their conference on March 20th, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Western Resort Guam. That's free, but you have to pre-register with GSAT. Call their office at 735-2490. Also that evening, March 20th at 7 o'clock p.m. at St. Jude Church in Sinohanya, the Down Syndrome Association is having their Trisomy 21 Mass. So it's the Down Syndrome Association, they host an event celebrating the lives of individuals who have, and the families of those who have Down syndrome. On March 21st at Costules in Tamuning, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Guam Developmental Disabilities Council having a meet and greet with some of its members. We were trying to do some just general outreach events, public awareness events. So we're going to have our information table set up for anyone who's stopped by. Check us out. You guys are all invited to the Guam Developmental Disabilities Council's Family Fun Day picnic. That's Saturday, March 28th, from 11 to 3 at Ipao Beach Park, the main pavilion. And then also that morning on March 28th, I'm not sure what time it starts, but Autism Community Together, they're hosting their 2K, 5K run, will, walk. I believe it's at the Chamorro Village, but I'm not too sure. If you guys have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me. And then on March 29, rounding out the month, Autism Community Together again ACT. They're having a massive Thanksgiving for autism. It's going to be at 9:30 a.m. here at the Agana Cathedral. So, like I said, this is just a few of the events going on. There's a whole slew of events going on this month in terms of celebrating Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. We just had a proclamation signing yesterday at the Government House, attended by over 50 people. So this is a chance to highlight where we're going in terms of improving and expanding services for individuals with developmental disabilities, and also providing a stronger support systems for their families and their friends who help them with their lives. So thank you guys for allowing me to promote some of the activities going on behalf of the Developmental Disabilities Network partners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alerta. Mr. Vice Speaker? You're recognized.
I'd just like to make a correction. The finale performance for the Tumambe Music Festival will be Saturday, March 7th. And I would also like to reiterate that UOG's Charter Day will take place on Tuesday, March 10th. And I will be hosting a fundraiser on Friday, March 27th to support my trip to Europe with the UOG Laddie-Tones. It's a little expensive, so if you guys can help support me, I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Representative Dahilig, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to acknowledge the signing of the Declaration of the Climate Strong Islands. It was signed by Guam earlier this week, and followed by Hawaii, Maine, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And this declaration is to get a conversation going on between the different islands around the states, so that we could develop a plan for us to adjust to the climate crisis. And I just wanted to acknowledge that it was signed by the governor, and we're getting more islands across the nation. Thank you.
I have one announcement regarding Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. The Guam Youth Congress will have a booth at the Outreach Fair tomorrow. So if you'd like to join us, please. We'll be there beginning at 8 to set up. And the shift is from 10 to 2 p.m., 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Micronesia Mall. So if you would like to join us, come see me or Representative Flores right after session. Are there any other announcements? Representative Flores, you're recognized.
Spencer, last one. The Political Science Student Association out of UOG is having a trivia night next Thursday, March 5th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Horse and Cow in Tamuning. You don't have to participate as a team. There's $10 tickets, includes a drink coupon, and a chance to win $100. No need to be present to win. And if you'd like to register a team, it's a team of 4 for $50. Early registration, $60 at the door. $200 cash prize for the winning team, and then trophies for second and third place winners. And then, of course, Charter Day, March 10th, and I'll send updates as they become available. Sizos Masi.
Thank you, Representative Flores. Any other announcements? Seeing as there are none, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Representative Tyron, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn session subject to the call of the Speaker.
There's been a motion to adjourn this session subject to the call of the Speaker. Are there any objections? Seeing as there are none, motion passes. We are adjourned.